Hey crew, hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Didi here with Creative Couture. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a part of the crew. Why? Because we have room for you. And if you are already a part of the crew, thank you for clicking on this video to see what I'm up to today. Y'all, if y'all come across any of these lanterns in Dollar General, please don't leave them behind. Today we are working with this lantern, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that today. So this is how it started, and this is how it ended up. Okay, y'all, let's get into this video. All right, so here we go. First things first. This is our lantern. This is the start of the show. Pretty plain and drab, but we're gonna make it work, y'all. We're gonna fix it up. First, we're gonna take off this price tag. And yes, it said $10, but no ma'am, no sir. Your girl paid $1 for it. That's right, 90% off. So, okay, here we go. And I did get several of these, y'all. This has the space in the bottom for a tea light candle. We don't need that. So what we gonna do? Cover it up. Y'all know me. I love to make a base for my items to sit upon, rest upon. And actually what I did was I glued down some newspaper to fill that little hole in, because I need it to be flat to support my items. Once I get that down like that, I'm going to go on with this piece of cardboard. I just cut it to size. I didn't even cover it this time because it's not going to show. So why cover it, right? All right, so I'm gluing it down. And I'm being rather generous with the glue here because I want to make sure it does stick and stay in place. I'm going to press that down for a little bit. And it don't take long, y'all. Hot glue does adhere fast. So now that that's on there, now we got a nice little flat area to work with. Okay, so we're going to use our tumbler. This is actually a tumbler from last season's Halloween collection from Dollar Tree. That candle was also Dollar Tree this season. That is a men's beard grooming kit, courtesy of Kroger. And then we have a hand sanitizer, just because it matches the theme and the colors. And we're going to place all those items on our lantern and in our lantern, but we're going to use that wood plaque as our base for the top. So let's just watch how I do this. I'm going to glue the bottom. Don't need too much glue for this. Gonna place that right on that cardboard base I made. Make sure that's on good and tight, nice and straight. So I'm just holding it in place. And you know your girl like to make sure her foundation is good, so I'm just getting it the way I want it. All right, you know we got to do the test. Turn it upside down. Yes, it holds. But, you know, it is a little wobbly even though it is holding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some good old trusted fishing line. All right, so I'm going to tie it in two places. Once around the back, like the frame portion of the lantern. I'm going to bring it inside and actually tie it around the cup, and then back out to the frame on the front side of the lantern. So it is going to be well secured. And I actually do that twice. One going in one direction and then one going in the opposite direction. So it is secure from all sides. And you just tie, I just tied 2 knots right here. I was happy with it. Cut off the excess. Do it again on the opposite side. like so, like that. I'm going in between right there. Then on the outside of that leg of the lantern, tying 1 knot, then tying 2 knots. Nice and tight, making sure my tumbler is secure. Actually, it looked like I might have tied 3 knots that time. But anyway, whatever works. Cut off the excess, making sure my cup is still in place. And there we go. We're going to test it again. And yes, it holds. All right, y'all. So moving right along. Next, I'm going to figure out which direction I want the front to be. That's what I'm doing, trying to just look at it, gauge it. So when I place my items on top, they can be quote unquote facing front. All right, so we're going to take this plaque right here. That plaque came from Dollar Tree. It is beige. I spray painted it white, y'all. All right, so here I'm going to remove the this little label. It didn't have a price on it. I just decided to remove it. You really could have left it on there because it doesn't show. So I'm getting that in place. How I want that. And then I'm just going to glue it down, y'all. I just put like a little bit of glue on the corners, all 4 corners of the top of the lantern, just to hold it down. This glue won't do any damage to this lantern. And this gift was, it was kind of inspired by, of course, like Father's Day that just passed, but also because we're approaching the fall season. And I was trying to think of things that would fall in line with maybe like a craft fair or employee appreciation, co-worker day, something like that. So that's what inspired me to make this and then to use these colors. So I got the platform down. I'm going to use this candle from Dollar Tree. That was the $3 candles that we got for $1 a few weeks back. Also, I'm going to use this beard grooming kit. And I'm just trying to get it in place to see how I want the items to sit. And then last but not least, I have the hand sanitizer for the back. And I just cut that peg hole off, y'all, because it does make your item look like you got it from a wholesaler, but not necessarily, out the store. But it's totally optional. Of course, you don't have to cut that off. It's up to you. All right, so that's how we looking. I like the way I got those items placed. And right now, it has a good, sturdy, foundation going. Has good bones, I should say. But I'm going to go ahead and go in with some embellishments, jazz it up. Use my fall foliage that I have plenty of. And I'm going to just go ahead and work with that placement, how I want those leaves and that pumpkin to sit. And then I'm going to, once I get happy with it, I'm going to glue it down. And you could use, you very well could use shred up here if you want it. You could use tissue paper. I just chose to use the leaves, of course, to go along with the fall theme, which is why I chose that burnt orange cup. And I'm just playing with the placement here. And just trying to figure out how I want things to go. And that's what it's about. You have to move your items around. You have to turn them this way, that way. Play with the placement, play with your embellishments until you're satisfied with the final look. And it takes a little while sometimes to add an item or take an item away until you get that final look that you're satisfied with. But once you do achieve that look, then you're good. You're golden. And those are like the things that justify your prices. When you selling on the streets and you put a price on your baskets and somebody want to try to talk you down or make a deal, you can stand on business because you know that you put in the work to get this presentation the way you wanted it to be, which represents you and your brand and your hard work and your craft. So don't rush through your baskets. Don't try to necessarily follow anybody else, 100%. You can use somebody else's idea as a guide, but at the end of the day, strive to try to make your designs your own, because that is what's going to make you stand out when you are selling on the streets and then there's somebody on the same block selling baskets on the streets. You want your stuff to stand out. You want your stuff to be unique. And it really just takes time, guys. It really does. You can't rush the process, but trust the process. So now that I got the leaves the way I want, I'm going to go in and glue down my items, which is just this 3-piece candle, beard grooming set, and hand sanitizer. And this will more than likely end up on the table at a craft show because we have craft events in my area on Saturdays. So it'll end up being on the table for one of those events. And if it don't sell, it'll be on the table for Christmas, just like it is. I'm not going to change a thing. So hopefully it'll be gone before Christmas, but if not, it'll be on the table for Christmas. All right, so I got the sanitizer down, but I need to tape it because I didn't use glue for that. So that's what you see me doing right here, taping the sanitizer to the candle on one side and to the grooming kit on the other side. And the more you can make your items secure, the better. Because in transit, with the picking up, the putting down, the moving on the truck, off the truck, your items can get shaken up. And they will be leaning and lopsided and falling over in the bag if you don't secure them well in the creation of the gift. Or I should say during the creation of the gift. Okay, so now at the bottom, y'all, I'm just putting a little bit of glue down there for my shred. And that's just my own personal thing. I like to do that to hold the shred in the gift. And try to keep it from falling down in the bag. And I'm just placing some shred at the bottom around the bottom of the tumbler. Which I'm out of frame. But you'll get to see that shortly. And I'm just adding some more shred to the other side. And I'm pleased with it. I like the way it's turning out. This is a unique design. I have not made this before. It was just something that I had, some items I already had in my stockpile that I needed to use. Like I said, I've had this cup since last Halloween, because that was on the Halloween collection from Dollar Tree. And the lantern as well came from last season, fall season. So I have about 3 of those lanterns I need to use. So I'll probably duplicate this 2 more times. And then we'll be on to the next. And just for embellishments, I'm going to add this pine cone down at the bottom. I did put a little bit of glue on this the stem to help keep that in place. And this is how we looking. I think it turned out cute. Super cute, super unique, super original. Okay, now so let's make the bow. And I'm going to keep this simple. Just going to use this black and white check with this burnt orange. And it's a man's gift, so it's going to be a simple bow. And I started to do the orange on top, but then I changed my mind. And I flipped it. So I did the black and white on top. And I'm just going through the normal motions of making a bow. If you need help with making a bow, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're having problems with or what you need clarity on. I will be glad to go over it with you. But I will tell you this, it does take practice. Before I was making baskets, I could not make a bow. Outside of tying my shoes, I could not make a bow at all. So I am proof that if you practice, you will get it. You can get it. And I ended up doing 2 loops on each side and then just cutting it off, which that was more than enough for this gift. And like I said before, I use zip ties to secure my bow to hold it together. And then I go in with a Chanel stem to secure it to the gift. So that way, when my customer takes the bow off the gift, the bow does not unravel. And they can reuse their bow should they choose to. Handmade bows sells gifts. And handmade bows are very popular as well as expensive if you was just to get a bow by itself. So don't think that customers don't want to keep their bows. They do. Keep them, reuse them. And that is part of what they're paying for when they purchase a gift, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I charge for my bows. I charge $1 for my bow and $1 for my bag. And if you're not charging for your bows and your bags, you need to be. That is supplies that needs to be reinvested back into your business. So yes, at a minimum, you should be charging $1 for your bag and $1 for your bow. All right, and this little piece of ribbon right here, it's not much, but it's enough to keep. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep it. We are not throwing this away. Going to roll it back up, and we will use it in the future for something else. But what we don't do is throw away ribbon. That is a no-no. All right, so that's the bow. And I did not wrap this gift on camera, y'all. But I do show you at the end the finished product. And this is how we looking before I wrap it. think it's really cute. It's really different. Trust me, no one else will have this gift on their table. Not this exact gift anyway. And that's how it looked when it was all said and done. Hope you liked the video. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.